Yeah, we talked. Yeah, we talked about my doctor being before the Time War, being young and experienced. But like I said last week, I think it would be cool, like even if we weren't played consecutively, just for the it's like that playing to find out what's going on with this timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, I'm cool with with waiting to figure that out. We've got plenty of fodder to play, so she's there for whenever we need her.
Uh,
Why don't you just tell us what order to go in? All right. I am Jim Crocker, and I know Michael from the Gauntlet, where we have played some games together. The Gauntlet online gaming community, which we are both members of, and folks who know me from outside of this stream or not having played online probably do so because I own a business called Jim Likes Games, where I sell tabletop hobby games, independent role playing games, small press RPGs from all my game designer friends and my pals at Indie Press Revolution at conventions all up and down the East Coast and the Midwest. So I'll be at Dreamation next month. Well, this month, shoot, yeah, because it's February. I'll be at Dreamation this month, and then PAX East next month, and then Origins, Gen Con, all that kind of stuff and everything. So that's where people can find me. I'm on Twitter at Jim Likes Games, and my website is jimlikesgames.com. So, and I'm really looking forward to this just to kind of lay the groundwork. I'm a kind of casual Doctor Who fan. I've watched several seasons of the new Who. I don't think I've seen anything before Eccleston, but this actually interest in this game is getting me, curious about going back and seeing some of the episodes I missed. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
My name is Rex McKenzie. I am the content creator for Millennial Monster Gaming. I know Michael through playing games with him during his summer vacations the last couple of years. I am also a super casual Doctor Who fan. I've only watched Torchwood and then every single Doctor Who episode with Martha Jones. I'm also pretty excited about this just because this is a passion of mine, and like role playing is a passion of mine, and it's kind of the basis of my whole career path at the moment. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Discord at Millennial Monster Gaming. Yeah. It is a new hobbyist network that I'm getting ready to launch with a D&D podcast from a game that we're playing in my house, and also a streaming channel when Anthem comes out. Mm-hmm.
Hi. First of all, I think it'll be important to establish that I will be Mike and Michael will be Michael. And so I am Mike Mendoza. I've gamed with Michael and Jim before through the Gauntlet, but I don't recall that I've ever gamed with Ellen or Rex. But I am looking forward to gaming with everyone tonight and so on. I will be playing tonight's companion, and I've watched Doctor Who since the '80s, starting with the rebroadcasts of the the classic originals over PBS. I think it was either Doctors 3, 4, or 5 who I guess I kind of started watching each of them simultaneously, because I don't know if there's a particular order in which the repeats were being broadcast at that time. But I've also followed along with the new version. Thank you. Although I've watched maybe just only a third of 12s and only the first episode of the current Doctor, so I do have some catching up to do. But yeah, that's basically me, and I'm looking forward to gaming this out.
Yeah, hello. I am also a member of the Gauntlet RPG community. I play games occasionally. I'm in Australia, so sometimes my time zones don't work out with everyone. And it's through the Gauntlet that playing a game where people were noticing some of my Who gear in the background, we decided to start talking Whovians, and Michael has decided to throw this game together for us and get a bit of a Doctor Who campaign going, which is awesome because I am a really big fan. I grew up with probably the fourth and the fifth Doctor being on telly when I was a kid, and when the relaunch seasons started coming out, just I watched all of them, and every time a new season comes out, I just rewatch all of them. So I'm very familiar with the past 10 years or whatever it is of the newer seasons, and I'm really excited to see what this game does. I mentioned last week when we were throwing around some ideas, there's, if we get involved with water bodies, as long as, we can veil any like waves and drownings and that kind of stuff, doesn't work for me so nicely.
feel like if we've all seen the show, we know the kind of stuff that goes down on the show. And if we kind of stick to stuff we know that they would allow on the show, I feel like we're probably going to be in pretty good shape. Yeah, things are just shaking. But like in terms of language, if we presume that as we're playing, the BBC is looking over our shoulder, I think we'll probably do just fine.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Sounds good.
Um,
Can you hear me now?
I like the idea of playing a kid.
Sweet. There's the farmer's kid or a generic kid. Not that I'm saying the generic kid might have more of a chance of dying.
Yeah, the generic kid's not wearing a red shirt.
Well, it's a tunic. We can't all be original Rex.
They never stood a chance.
I'll play the generic kid.
Okay. And who would the other people like to take for the opening?
Can I take the farmer, because that seems to be quite different to where my doctor and my companion are going, so
Okay.
it'd be fun for me.
Okay. So we have the knight errant on the farmer's kid.
I'll be the knight errant. I'm fine with that.
Okay. So if you want, you can choose a name. You can actually open them up and edit them. So I might leave like what they actually are just as a quick reminder, so I can kind of look and go, that's so and so. But you can kind of choose whatever you want as far as names go.
Oh, shall I go ahead and be other kid?
Oh no, if we
Well,
got
I
the
think
knight,
myself.
if we have the knight errant here, why don't you go ahead and be Robert?
Cool.
Hang on, I'm confused.
Mhm.
Isn't Jim going to be the knight errant? Did I miss something?
Oh no, but I was saying because if we have the knight errant there, we can also have Michael as Mike as a squire.
Yeah, so I won't need,
oh, yeah,
I won't need to
awesome.
adopt another character.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Oh yeah, Robert Wynn.
And part of this very beginning is also seeing just a couple things on how the system itself works, because has anyone used the system before?
I have not.
Neither have I. It's not particularly complex, which is nice, but it is kind of nice to be able to play it a little bit and then figure out how some of the stuff works. And in particular, sometimes how it feels. Okay. Bryn. This goes by Sir. If you want a quick cheat sheet, there is I think I don't know if I put it online, but there's like an unofficial GM's screen, which actually has got like a bunch of like real quick cheat stuff on it, which is not actually terribly badly put together. If you have one of those standing ones, you just go. All right, so Godfrey. Polling. Oh yeah, not a bad idea, particularly if we're not sure by name. Putting like the gender of a character is not a terrible idea to let us know. So I guess we can start with this. Bryn, you've lived in a, let me double check what Robert said for 1381. And actually, Robert, Mike, if you want to tell us, what was the Summer of Blood Revolt?
Basically, it was. I'm trying to remember correctly. It was basically a peasant, a peasant uprising against the relatively new king at the time. I think Richard II. He was like just a teenager, but basically, it was. Actually, I'm gonna look. I gotta call this up. But basically, it was just a general uprising against the nobility, led by, I think, a bandit and this random preacher. Like not like an actual, official church bishop or anything, but just a random preacher who would just round up the masses and gave a good scare for that summer to the powers that be.
Oh, okay.
Looks like there's a pretty cool book by Dan Jones about it.
That's where I got the idea from, and I read it, and of course it's the contents of it already kind of seeping through my head. But that's where I got the initial inspiration to set set my character in the middle of that.
That's
because I was trying to think of like something cool and some cool historical thing to set my character in, and all the good ones are already taken. Doctor Who's already covered the Magna Carta and the Crusades and Marco Polo, so I went for this one.
All right.
Do you mind if I just read a couple sentences off of here, because I think they boiled it down really well.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the Peasants' Revolt of 1381 is one of the most dramatic and bloody events in English history. Starting with village riots in the Essex countryside, chaos rapidly spread across much of the southeast of England as tens of thousands of ordinary men and women marched in fury to London, torching houses, slaughtering their social superiors, and terrifying the life out of those who got in their way. The burning down of Savoy Palace, home to the most powerful magnate in the realm, marked one of the revolt's most violent episodes.
Cool. So it puts us in a good place. So Bryn, you've had like a number of the kind of older, like adults or young adults and such, have left to sort of join this revolt. What is it that sometimes takes you at night a little far afield in the forest?
Scrounging for herbs.
Okay.
Foodstuffs.
Okay. Are the herbs do you do some apothecary type stuff, or is it more just stuff for cooking or for other stuff?
Stuff for cooking.
All right. So you have a tendency to like to go out sort of at night into the forest. You're out there one evening when you hear like an explosion, this just and there's like a giant flash of light that is kind of deeper into the forest towards there's like there's like a lake in the middle of this forest. It's relatively lake is probably as grandiose. It's a decent sized pond that has enough water being fed to it that it doesn't get overly scummy. Maybe a place to go swim, but you get like a lot of like gunk on the bottom of it. But yeah, like some sort of a blast that's in that direction.
Clearly, I'm gonna go check it out.
That seems dangerous. So as you're sort of kind of heading towards it, trying to figure out what's going on, why don't you do me a favor? Let's have you make a stealth roll. So this would be if you click on subterfuge, which you have a 0, and then probably, if you don't want to tell me how you're going, because I can see that being an ingenuity thing, a coordination thing. I guess it's how do you want to, how you're sneaking. You can sort of make the determination for what works based on how you're doing it.
I reckon this. I reckon just by like using the brush and the bushes, kind of like darting in and out between them, using the natural foliage as cover.
All right.
So what I'm going for is ingenuity.
Okay, so yeah, what you do is you click on subterfuge, add ingenuity, and then it'll ask you what to add to it if you add ingenuity. I'm trying to remember, if you do not have the skills, like a -2.
But would I be able to use either my quick reflexes or sense of direction as a bonus?
Let me double check real quick. Yeah, quick reflexes lets you go first. Work out how to get. We'll give you a +2 from your sense of direction. Like you know this area of the woods. You kind of know which way to go if you're trying not to be seen. You're not entirely stealthy, like you don't have skill in it, but you do know this place well enough that you can kind of figure out where to go.
So bonus is at a net 0.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 6. It's what you got here is easy. It's not fairly easy, which would be like the 6. But you can kind of fail by a lot. As you're going through, you start to hear just like and there's a moment you're just and then something like kind of crashes through, and it sort of looks up and it like sees you almost for a second, but there's this other like large hulking hairy thing kind of bounding after it from this burning. There's just an area that's burning on the other like one of the shores that's like not a far shore from it, and this thing is trying to run away from whatever's after it. What do you do?
This seems like a really bad place to be. I'm gonna turn around and book it.
Okay. You sort of turn around and haul ass, and very quickly, as you're running, you kind of know where the main road is, which is not particularly far. Which, in that case, actually, we're gonna do it this way. Instead of the main road, actually, you've got Sir Godfrey. Not Sir Godfrey, I'm sorry, Polly. Polly? Is that how the farmer's name's pronounced? Okay. You are home, and you've also sort of heard this commotion. Like when you hear the crash, what do you do? Who's home with you, and what do you do?
My devoted wife is stirring potatoes above the fire,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking around for the children. Can't see them, and I leap out of my chair and grab a pickaxe that's not a pickaxe, a pitchfork that's by the door.
And by the monsters in town.
Yeah. I'm also ready for a mob. I burst out the door and Lucy, you stay home. I'm gonna see what that racket's all about, and fly out the door.
Okay. As you fly out the door, as you're sort of heading like into the woods, you hear something kind of crashing through. Bryn, you just about run into Polly.
Out of breath and frantically gesturing behind him, making like big, scary monster arms. Like, you've seen Courage the Cowardly Dog, right? This is essentially what this kid is doing right now while trying to explain what happened. A lot of like babbling and arm gestures.
What are you talking about, kid?
There was an explosion in the woods, and monsters and
An explosion? There's no brewery in the woods. Maybe it's old Joe down the road and his moonshine setup. I know his missus wasn't too fond on that. Look, calm down. Let's just go home.
And about that point, you go, and there's a thing that's probably about 7 feet tall, sort of bursts out, and it's got in its hands there's a thing in one hand that looks like it's glowing slightly. You can't quite get a good look for what it is, and it has a sword in the other, and it just kind of comes out and sort of spins around for a second, and it's looking into the forest, and you kind of hear there's a bit of like crashing happening a little further away. But it looks like it may not be coming this direction. Whatever it was might not have followed it.
I push Bryn behind me and have my pitchfork at the ready, not trying to call attention to this beastie, but I'm ready for action.
Okay. So it's like, and then as it turns, looks at the thing, it sees you there. As it's like you got the pitchfork up, and its sword sort of slowly comes up.
What do you want? Run, Bryn. Run!
Very obediently takes off.
Okay. It kind of looks as Bryn kind of runs, and you see it start to like tense up a little bit, and it just takes a real quick moment. It just looks back into the woods and sort of strains like it's listening to see if there's something back there before sort of turning back. And it's just like walking almost straight towards you. Like it's going to try to just go through you.
Demon, be gone! This is our home. Leave us.
You sort of say those things as it goes by?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm yelling at it.
So it literally, as it sort of walks through, it kind of puts an arm out if you don't do anything to stop it, and it's just going to be knocking you to the side.
Oh, I'm trying to stop it. I'm like, be gone!
You shall not thump. Ow!
Yes, I use my pitchfork and stomp it on the paddock.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so what you want to do is go ahead and make, so you're making an attack roll.
Yep.
On here. Now, a pitchfork should be, weapon, arrow, crossbow, bolt. Like, it probably gives you about a +4 damage, or +3 or 4 to the damage. I'm not seeing pitchfork showing up. But as you're kind of coming to it, so what you want to do is go ahead and you can click on fighting.
Yep. So I haven't assigned any skills for Polly. Do they not have skills?
I already put skills on. If you look on the character sheet, there should be.
Yeah, no, the skills aren't filled out. The attributes are filled out, but not the skills.
Oh, I forgot to put skills. I put them on the other ones. Yeah, for those, I believe it's
7. No, he's got 7 in fighting. No, I'm kidding.
I thought I put those. I think there's a max of 5.
Yeah. I know. Is it the same number of points that you get in?
Yeah, it's a total of 18, I think. Yeah, 18 skill points.
Yeah. Okay.
You just throw a few in now, and then we can figure out the rest.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say he's got 4 in fighting because he's brave and indomitable and tough. And survival is probably pretty. He's a farmer. He's 5. Yeah. So roll with fighting. I just hit that, and that doesn't seem to have. Is that doing anything when I hit? Oh, that attribute. Resolve. I'm going to use my resolve. Does that make sense, or strength? Probably strength.
I can see resolve just the standing clear, particularly because it doesn't see you as a threat.
Yeah.
So it's that resolve to just get like straight in. So I can definitely see resolve being used here, partly because it's going to catch it a little bit by surprise.
And now, am I able to use my voice of authority?
Not you are about 2 feet shorter than it, so and speaking a different language.
All right. How did that go?
Just raw tomato.
Okay.
14. That's okay. I'm happy with that.
Since it's not like essentially like ready for it, it'll be a little surprised because it's sort of marked you out. I'm essentially giving it only half of its fighting. And we'll give it sort of the awareness, so it doesn't have its full thing. Oh, so has an 8 against your 14. That means you have succeeded by 6. Yeah, 6 puts you into the definitely sort of good. What is your strength?
Oh, my strength is. Sorry, I'm just getting used to doing all of this. 3.
Okay, so what we said about a 3 on there, and then plus you've got so a total of like 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a ton, but as you kind of like and like because it's almost like a bone-ish armor that's sort of a part of it as it kind of digs into it, but it sort of looks up and its eyes get super wide and it's a little pissed. So now it's got sort of the full thing. However, it's going to have a -2 because it just had to resist. So 5, 9, 14. So this is going with a backhand. Quite a bit up there. What you want to do is to do anytime you do a resist roll of some sort. This is probably like a coordination and fighting is the one that would probably make the most sense for this.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have a -2 because you've already done an action in the round, and it had a -2 because it had to use its resistance against you.
So strength and coordination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it wouldn't be strength. Is coordination a skill? It should be a skill and an attribute.
A skill and an attribute. No, it is not. For survival. So there's fighting, athletics, survival.
Fighting or athletics probably makes a little bit more sense because it's not survival's more being out on the land and surviving in that way.
Yeah, and also I'm tough, which I think does something when you get hit. I can't. Oh, that link's not working.
Here, let me. Hold on.
Oh yeah, no, there it is.
Whoops.
Tough reduces the amount of damage that would normally be deducted from that character's attribute by 2. This is after any other effects such as armor are taken into account.
Okay.
So I'm using fight with coordination and the +2. Oh, but then I have a -2, so that nets out to 0.
Okay.
And submit.
Okay.
Doesn't look that great.
Not going to go well, kind of at all. So, but it takes the -2 away from damage. Okay, since you're just getting essentially backhanded by this thing, what you're going to do is its strength plus it succeeded kind of by enough. Now you got a couple story points, which you could do. Like this isn't going to kill you, but it's going to hurt. You could use story points to essentially take that from right now. You have a disastrous success. If you spent 1, 2, if you spent 3, you could bring it up to a success, which basically meant you could kind of take the hit without actually getting hurt.
Yeah, go on. Let's do that. You said 1 point.
It would be a total of 3 because you failed by more than 9. So the most you can bring it up to is success, which means you managed to essentially roll with it, not get like knocked around.
Look, I think Polly's happy to spend those points because he's pretty stubborn.
Yeah. So as it will sort of hit and then like knock you like to the side, but you actually manage not to get particularly hurt by it, which you get and sort of crashes. And at which point, as it sort of turns to come at you, something leaps from the bush, this big kind of hairy thing, hits it, and the thing that's in its hand, the kind of glowing thing, drops out and kind of comes closer to you. Let's cut to our knight and knight errant, or knight squire. Why are the two of you heading away from the revolts that are happening?
Because if we don't, we're going to get murdered. I mean, I think that's like whatever lord I was in service to, you know, like I was lucky that I was, you know, out practicing or like I think I was probably like, you know, oh, you know what? I was in the tavern having a drink when all of this, like when the revolt started, and everybody kind of came rolling in, and it was very clear which way the wind was blowing. So I grabbed my squire. We got on our, you know, I got on my horse. I kind of rode towards the gate of the castle, and like there was smoke coming out of all the windows, and the peasants were like throwing, you know, tapestries out of the upper floors and stuff like this, and said, okay, let's turn around. And so we are now on the road. You know, I guess I'm kind of a Ronin of sorts right now, sort of, because whatever lord I was working for, you know, got his throat cut. So we are, and it, you know, and if this were a Doctor Who episode, I would be saying to my squire, well, lad, it appears that we must cast our fate upon the wind, because with all of this civil unrest that we see happening in the countryside now, we'd best be careful where we tread. We'll need to find a place, find a lord whose castle is secure before we can settle down and relax.
Well, is relaxing, my lord, is relaxing really the wisest course? Surely a lord who is secure would not require our services as much as any of the other lords.
Oh, lad, this is why they put you with me, because you have so much to learn about what it really is to be a knight. The boldest knights, the most fearsome knights, the knights who lust for battle, those are the knights who we see monuments erected to, who we see elaborate tombs carved for, who have...
Yes, a great honor indeed.
Yes, indeed. I would prefer to have a large span of time between the first year and the last year that they carve upon my tombstone. And being bold is not the way that one does that. Now, one must do what one must to uphold the code of chivalry, but within reason. There is no... if one throws one's life away in foolhardy pursuit, then think of all the good that will go undone.
So you're you're sacrificing glory in favor of. I see. Well, yes. Vaingloriousness is a bad thing. You're...
Yes, absolutely. We serve the Lord our God through prudence.
Well, humility is a virtue as well. I suppose.
It is. Yes, I value it above some of the others. Each knight chooses to himself which of the knightly virtues he wishes to express in his conduct, and prudence is my watchword.
And about this point, there is a kid comes crashing out of the woods, running like the devil's behind him.
What ho, lad!
Oh, so Rex, you're muted.
Yes, you are correct. I was. Oh, a knight! Oh, good. There's a big monster that came out of the woods.
Monster.
A monster, you say? Perhaps you could describe it to me, child.
Please, he's attacking Farmer Poley.
Worry not. Wait here with my squire. He will see to it that everything is all right, and I will go investigate this. I'll go investigate this monster that you have seen. And I kind of chuckled to myself, and kind of swing my horse around and slowly walk it into the forest in the direction. Picking my way, like one hand on the rein, sort of kind of picking my way through the trees.
Am I carrying your am I carrying your shield and armors at this point?
Yeah, I presume I've got a nice war horse, and you've got what do you think? Like a donkey or something, like a pony or something? Yeah.
Yeah, something much more modest.
Yeah, and so I guess I would say very well, hand me my shield and my sword.
Yes. I put him on him with pride because this is my deal. This is where I shine.
And I do it, and I I bring my sword around that has my coat of arms that has a knight from a chessboard here,
a yellow chicken,
badger down on the other side. No, that's a little too on the nose. That's a little too funny, but I've got a knight from a chessboard and a badger, and. I kind of I sort of tuck it on my arm and just kind of casually ride through the woods, kind of peering through the it's fairly dark out now, right? I mean, so whatever by whatever light of the moon I can see, I'm just sort of peering through the trees, or whatever raccoon or mangy solitary wolf. That this underfed boar that this kid saw that he ran screaming from.
Okay. Oh, in the meantime, I'll I'll ask for the lad's name and try to calm him down. I'll assure him that my wise master, he knew. I see he's I see that he was very wise in strategically withdrawing from the from the vaults, because clearly there is an even greater threat if there are monsters about here. And surely someone as brave as Sir Godfrey is the best suited knight to handle such otherworldly menaces from the depths below. So worry not, young. What's your name again?
Name's Bryn, sir.
Young Bryn. Worry not. I am Robert Wynn, and I'm proud to be the squire of Sir Godfrey. And perhaps, say, Bryn, would you mind? Perhaps we should, follow at a distance, at a safe distance, just to witness my master in glorious combat. I think this will be. If I can witness his valor, it'll be easier for me to sing his praises at court once the unpleasantness in the countryside is resolved. What do you say?
Bryn nods and like reaches down on the ground and like picks up several like sizable rocks.
Oh, very good.
In case things need to be thrown.
Gonna get him! Gotta get him!
I also have like a quarterstaff or maybe like a short sword or something on hand as well for myself. Anyway.
So as you two kind of follow behind, Sir Godfrey, as you're sort of like heading through the woods a bit, you hear like a giant crashing, like something huge, like rampaging, and then you hear a.
Okay, and I bring the horse to a stop, and it maybe like skitter steps a little bit, and I say that. An extremely large raccoon. And I swallow, and I kind of come on now, and I kind of tap the horse a little bit, and I inch the horse forward. And I think this is where we're going to learn that my horse is as reluctant to get into a fight as I am, I think. Feldspar is the name of my horse. It's kind of have to tweak him a couple of times to get him to kind of start moving towards the noise.
Okay. You're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And as you sort of start to head in a little bit, you can kind of see through, and there's this gigantic thing lying on the ground, and its chest seems to have been like caved in with something large. You can kind of see some of the wood and such behind it. Like there's some things are still moving, and there's a man there that's just like got blood all over him, eyes like kind of wide as he's staring at the body there.
Hello, sir. Greetings.
He sort of looks up at you, and there's this moment he goes, just a moment. Now see, this was going to be cool. Little soundboard thing on the phone, which just blue screen too. And I was like, I hit boom. Nope. Damn it. Go. Yeah, at which point, as you're sitting there, he's covered in blood and just like, this is sort of like looking down, and then this box appears with sort of odd writing that you were not kind of expecting. Yeah. And my guess is, Doctor, where were you planning on going that was not 1381 during the Summer of Blood Rebellion?
Oh, it was definitely 1381, but it was going to be on the balmy shores of southern Spain.
Okay.
I was planning on some solitude.
Okay. Are you able to see outside of your thing of the TARDIS right now, or do you actually have to like step out to take a look and see? This is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I don't think she had any reason to doubt that the TARDIS would not take her where she instructed it to. So she opens the door, looks around at the grey sky, the woods, and is very perplexed.
This, not what I planned on.
Not what I planned on.
What she look like or wear, just so we have an idea.
So, my doctor is in a female form.
Mm-hmm.
She is wearing traditional Time Lord garb. So the really luxurious, heavy red robes with gilding and this ostentatious shield behind the head and like almost shoulder pads that are like some weird metal, and there's Gallifreyan symbols all over the bits and pieces. So, and also she's holding a staff that is about the same height as her, maybe a little bit taller. It looks like it's golden or like a really golden colored brass, and that has a really ornate Gallifreyan design at the top of the staff.
And I'm off of my horse, and like in 3 long strides, I'm there in front of you and on one knee, and like taking your hand to kiss your hand. Milady, these woods, this night, this is no place for a noble personage such as yourself. These roads are dangerous for one of noble blood right now.
Yes.
And I stand and I say, and we do not know what the intentions of this one are. And I draw my sword, and I kind of step in between the doctor and the guy who's covered in blood.
Yeah, and he's just looking kind of shocked and just sort of looks up at you and.
State your business, sir. Are you here to waylay this noble woman?
This thing almost killed me. At this point, Robert and Brain, you're at a point where you can see this. He just looks, he goes, this thing almost killed me. This is, again, this about 7 to 8 foot thing on the ground. Doctor, it's a zealot. It's weird to have... Oh, I see. It's sort of weird to have a zealot here in this area because they don't tend to come to Earth. They're usually a little bit further afield, but they're not like usually the friendliest of species. They're also often pretty damn tough. So if this is the guy that killed it, this is someone to be who's kind of a no joke.
Unmute. So the doctor looks around, stares at everyone and everything, and then turns around, goes back inside the TARDIS, shuts the door, walks over to the console, turns a handle, and a spool of paper with patterned dots come out, and she unwinds the paper and holds it up and reads it, and she's like, definitely Earth. What? England. What's this guy doing here? Crumples that up, throws it away. Slowly steps out of the TARDIS and greetings, humans of varying forms. I am the doctor. I will need to ask some questions. Where did this creature appear?
You are a physician? In addition to being... I was not aware that the medical colleges were accepting maidens. Sir Thaddeus Godfrey, at your service, milady.
Oh, God. She mutters something undiscernible underneath her breath. Primitives. Where did this creature appear? Can you understand me?
Yes. Yes, your speech is most clear, and your diction impeccable, I must say. And I turn and walk over to the beast, give it a kick or two, kind of poke it with my sword.
I wouldn't do that if
it is an unusually large bear for these parts, but they have been known to roam these woods. You, sir, I suppose you are a hunter, a trapper, perhaps a professional bear baiter.
I'm a farmer.
Oh,
Bryn, and he sort of points towards Bryn and Robert. Bryn saw the thing first.
And you were able to dispatch it with no more than a pitchfork? The beast must have been sickly.
There was something else after it.
The doctor pushes the knight out of the way to speak directly to Bryn. Child, tell me more. Tell me everything you know.
I was in the woods gathering root vegetables and food to make some.
Okay, and not everything you know, just everything you know about this creature.
There was a loud noise and a bright light, and I went to go see, and I saw this thing and a big hairy thing. It seemed like they were fighting, and I ran away.
Can you take me to that place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Lady Doctor, you will need an escort. These woods are dangerous. I offer my services and those of my squire to serve as your champion.
I stand at attention.
If you please.
And I nod, and I kind of make a motion like I'm gonna grab you by the waist to hoist you up onto the back of my horse. This is important. I'm not gonna interrupt that.
Puppy.
Sorry, Puppy was crying for me.
That's okay. My cat, my 20-year-old cat does the same thing, and my wife brings her to me when is otherwise inconsolable. So, and I make a move like I'm gonna lift you up onto the back of the horse.
Do not dare. I am completely compatible in this form. I have bipedal function, as I am sure you also have bipedal function. Do not torture poor Jezebel here.
This is Feldspar.
No. She does not approve of that name.
Blink, blink.
Come along, humans.
As you wish. And I just kind of like looking confused. I take the reins of the horse and I'm just gonna lead it and walk along with everybody else.
Okay, Polly. Bryn. Polly sort of looks at you again, sort of covered in blood, and is just like, "Do you need help, or should I wash all this off me?"
You've
Oh, Rex. Oh.
Oh, Bryn.
I think the knight can handle it.
And it takes a moment, that sort of looks at you, is like, "See me after this. After you're done taking them into the woods, and if something happens, run away from it."
I'm real good at that.
kind of like looks up and looks sort of through all of you and is like, I'm going to wash the blood off of me, make sure my family's okay. And there's a farmhouse pretty close by. Okay. So like there's definitely like there's some things like some trees, like some smaller trees that have been pushed down. Like it's essentially not a hard trail to sort of follow back to the lake that you're going, and you can see, Doctor, what you see is a Zealot ship, a small one. Maybe be enough for three or four Zealots and like a prisoner, because they're not. It's not unusual for them to essentially be sort of bounty hunters and things like that. But the Zealots themselves are often on the other side of the law, so who they're bounty hunting for could be, rightful authorities, could be others. But this one, this far out, and the way this one, what you can see is the way it's set up. This looks to be a bounty hunting ship, and a small, fast one. Though at this point, it crashed pretty hard. It looks like it's probably no longer operable.
Yeah, I'd like to investigate it, see if I can see any see if I can get inside it, and see if I can see any travel logs or any information or any tracking technology that they might have for their work.
Okay. What do the rest of you do while she's going into this big hunk of burning metal?
What witchcraft is this? Milady Doctor, I've never seen such a thing.
No, you haven't.
It's like a castle fallen on its side, but made of steel.
Oh, do compose yourself.
Very well.
Robert, what are you doing?
At this point, I'm just kind of. I'm going to try to follow because I'm very curious about what the lady here, and I'm not entirely convinced that she's a noble lady. She hasn't she hasn't followed protocol and like offered an actual name, or like followed your typical courtly protocol. I'm wondering if she's perhaps. I'm assuming that. Actually, I whispered to Robert, or excuse me, I whispered to Sir Godfrey, my lord, you don't suppose, given her strange ways and garb and the staff she wields, you don't suppose she's a spellbinder of some kind, do you?
A sorceress, perhaps.
Yes, like Merlin himself, perhaps.
There are tales.
Or Morgana Le Fay. Ooh.
There are tales of that such beings have walked these woods. Perhaps observe her closely. I will investigate this farmhouse.
Yes, of course, my lord. I'll go ahead and follow. Not necessarily all that stealthy, but I'll just follow the doctor into the wreckage of the shattered castle.
Okay, and then Bryn, what are you doing? As you see Robert go to follow into the burning wreckage.
Just very frantically, like eyes darting around.
Is this your house, lad?
No.
Do you know who lives here?
Was this actually a house, or was this just something that landed here?
It's a crash. You have never seen anything like this before.
I thought there was like a little farmhouse or something in.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The
area.
farmhouse. The farmhouse was back before. That's where the farmer lives. This is deeper into the woods by the lake.
So there's nothing. Like this is like middle of nowhere, kind of crash in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. All right. So, boy, you say that you saw something chasing the thing we found slain.
Yes, sir, Lord Knight.
What did it look like? What was its aspect?
I couldn't get a good look at it before I ran, but it was large and covered in hair.
All right. Now, young man, this is very important, and I kind of like place a fatherly arm kind of around his shoulders to say, and I kind of sort of like kind of crouch down so that I'm on the same height with him, and I say, there will be those who will tell you that what you did was an act of cowardice. Pay them no mind. Had you not run when you did, you would not have found us. We would not be here to investigate this devilry. Never, never, never let anyone tell you that discretion is not the best part of valor. Do you understand?
Bren Blake gives like a very like soft and like shy smile and nods his head.
And I grin, tousle his hair. Very well then. And I stand up. See if you can't find us an apple or two.
Okay. And I'm gonna go look for my satchel.
Perhaps some berries.
I'll go look for my satchel of dropped foodstuffs that I'd been gathering before.
Okay. Sort of head into there. So meanwhile, in the ship itself, not very large. You actually see that there is a prisoner thing that part of it has been busted open from the inside. Probably what caused the crash. There is some blood in different colored blood that's up by the sort of cockpit. It's a pretty small place. It's got the little prisoner area in the back. There are like two sort of small rooms that are sort of bedrooms. Looks like only one of them has been occupied, and then there is like the cockpit.
I've lit up a lantern, and I'm asking the doctor if she requires any illumination.
I look at Robert and press a seemingly innocuous panel, and the whole ship is lighted. Maybe flickering because it's a bit broken, but you know.
Oh.
I do not require that lantern.
I'll, dumbfoundedly, I'll extinguish the fire in the lantern. I see no torches, and yet everything is lit up.
Yes, yes.
Especially Robert outside, like, what's going
Right.
The doctor goes up to the cockpit and starts pressing buttons and trying to see if she can gain any information.
Okay, well, so it doesn't take you too long. Like, you kind of know how these things work. And then, like, it's one of those things that, Robert, you see these, like, all these things start to appear. Languages, you have no idea what they are. There's some holograms sort of pop up. Doctors, you're sort of looking them over. It looks like they had a Hayvithe on here. Hayvithe tend to be a fairly calm race in general. They have sort of a symbiotic relationship with a life form on their planet. The life form itself is highly dangerous in the hands of basically someone who's not a Hayvithe, because they're actually able to kind of control it. Like they're not sort of overtaken by it. It is not an unusual thing for people to want to take, to essentially give to warriors for if they wanted to be essentially like berserkers, or if they want to put them on like some gladiatorial type pits, like some of the game planets and such. It is pretty illegal to hunt Hayvithe Partially because like when the symbiote's taken away, it's agony for the creature.
The poor thing. We must find and release the creature. Return it home.
Where is its home? Across the channel?
Yes, across the channel. And in her head, she's like, of space and time, dummy.
Will we require nets? We could round up perhaps some local foresters, some hunters to aid in our.
Yes, you do that. And she's like, on your way, human. And she's recalibrating the dials on the ornament on her staff to set her track. And she would like to use her staff to find the Hayvite.
Okay. Sure. At this point, did you think it doesn't work on... the Hayvite is a sentient creature.
Oh, yes. Okay. Of course it won't work. That was...
Yeah, so
that
it's...
very silly.
They have a tendency to sort of keep to themselves, mostly because when other races discovered that, they've got this symbiote, if it's taken out and kind of corrupted, they were hunted a great deal. So they tend to keep to themselves, because others coming in has been fairly bad. However, finding the Hayvite will not be particularly difficult because Sir Godfrey, Thaddeus Godfrey, as you're sort of sitting out there, and like you're now by yourself, the woods seem weirdly quiet. Maybe because this thing is here burning on parts of it. Maybe because it's quiet. And there's a moment where you just hear this like low growl that comes behind you, and it seems to like vibrate your chest.
Mm-hmm. And I say, this is not a good time for jokes, lad. Just tell me what you found.
There's a...
And I, like, slowly look over my shoulder.
Okay. The thing itself is somewhat bear-like. The face itself is not kind of what you're normally used to seeing. While it's sort of on all fours at this point, there's a part of you that does register that it has hands of a sort, though they're very large and fairly ugly clawed. And the thing, and its eyes have got this sort of wild... And it's looking like from you and then over towards the actual the ship itself. And it's...
And that's where I just bolt for the ship.
Okay. Runners get to go first. It's not kind of coming after you at this point because you saw it like, kind of tense up and you just like fling, disappear and then
I just start like I'm clanging towards the ship. And I'm yelling, Lady Doctor! Lady Doctor! Please do not take offense when I say that I hope that in fact you are a sorceress! As I am running towards the ship.
And that seems like a good...
The other beast is in pursuit of
So it sounds like a good time to go to commercial. Take a couple minutes for like a bio break. And then we can pick up with Rex when we get back.
Awesome.
Okay. So be back in a few.
at me and be cute. He's such good no.
Sorry, did you say something, Michael? Oh, no, I just heard that thing going there. How are things out in Cali?
Washington.
Oh, you're Washington. I'm sorry. Were you in California again for a bit, or was that where you were before Alaska?
No, I was in Texas before Alaska.
Damn. That is totally wrong.
California is way too hot for me and is prone to catching on fire too often.
Isn't Texas pretty... Like, my parents are in El Paso now. Doesn't that get pretty bad in the summer?
I mean, yeah, I love Texas for a reason.
All the way to Alaska. Where can I get where it's cold as shit?
Apparently, Alaska was the wrong choice because I love the cold, but I hate the snow.
I'm trying to remember what took you up to Alaska.
My husband's family lived there, and we were both tired of Texas.
I get that.
And his mom offered to pay for our plane tickets and to get my dog shipped up there.
How does one ship a dog? That would seem to be a worrisome thing.
He flew with me, but he needed to go through medical clearance at the vet.
Mm-hmm.
We had to buy a special kennel for him because it was 18 hours in transit.
So not cheap.
Was not cheap. This dog is lucky that I love him so much. He's very expensive.
Yeah. Animals get that way sometimes. Oh, look at me. I'm going to cost you all your money.
It was much cheaper to move him to Washington than it was to move him to Alaska.
Yeah, I don't mind dogs and such. My schedule sometimes makes it hard to have one. Plus, then it's another living thing I got to take care of, and I'm not in a huge rush for that.
That's fair. Having to take care of my dog though has made me better at taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
As if something happens to me, who's gonna take care of this smelly trash goblin?
Like, oh, little thing, you're the reason that I sometimes try.
Pretty much.
I had a friend who I did a lot of theater with who got a little yippy dog. He also didn't have his own car, so trying to get home was difficult. And it's dude, you have a hard time getting home. You do theater a lot. You should not have a dog.
Yeah, fair. Especially a little yippy dog. They are very needy.
Yeah, I'm your roommates are going to want to kill you.
on most days that like I'm not here, Hunter will just sleep all day.
Damn, we got the thing trained. Got a woman down the hall.
He has very bad separation anxiety, and if me or my husband's not home, he's just kind of depressed all day.
Oh, just hey guys, hey.
Pretty much.
I just had some friends who lost their German Shepherd. They just got another one, and got it like all trained to be like cool with their kid and everything.
That's good.
Apparently, the problem with German Shepherds and kids is actually they become so protective that, like, he was saying that there were some stories of like people coming home and their babysitter had essentially been like stuck on the couch because the family was gone and the dog didn't know the babysitter, so it's like to protect the kid, wasn't letting the babysitter anywhere near him.
Huh.
It would be a terrifying babysitting job.
My childhood husky was like that as well.
We had a Maltese. The Maltese couldn't scare anybody. Just bark a lot and then lick you.
Aww.
Okay, you're ferocious. Yeah. We had 2 snow days. One of which because it was like negative 45 in the morning, and one because a whole bunch of other schools decided just to go ahead and have it. It was not that cold that morning.
You know, I have not seen a single snowflake this year.
Yeah, I'd say we honestly we had some snow, but not a ton. We've had a little bit of snow, but not enough that's actually like messing stuff up.
It also hasn't been below 40 degrees.
It's bizarre.
I'm not complaining. It's just cold enough that I'm comfortable, but there's 0 risk of snow, which I'm very happy about.
Mm-hmm. Are you up in Seattle or are you elsewhere in Washington?
I'm near Seattle. I'm in one of the many satellite suburbs.
I have a friend who's working. They're out in Seattle. She's working for Facebook.
Oh, nice.
She was my customer in a whole bunch, and I've also had her as oops, let me do this. I've also had her as a actress in a bunch of shows.
Man, a costumer would be top notch. I'm trying to put together garb for a LARP next month.
Some of them cosplayers, the armor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of LARP?
It's a like middle-aged gothic LARP. So I'm playing a warrior from Fantasy Scotland who wants to kick Fantasy England out of his country.
So it's a Middle Ages Gothic LARP.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Because a middle-aged Gothic LARP is
hilarious stuff.
But like that's something I would be in. So it's like
I know we're all tubbier than we used to be.
cut off is 45. And then yeah, we're all listening to Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy.
We sit around and reminisce about the 90s. That's
Exactly.
what we're going to do on our LARP this weekend.
Black lipstick and clove cigarettes. That's
God, now I'm just thinking like a middle-aged LARP would be hilarious. Particularly if you had like young kids. Get a bunch of like 22-year-olds. And then just have a bunch of middle-aged people sitting there going... What were you saying, Rex?
I just listened to a podcast today, where Amy Vorpal, who runs a lot of like Geek and Sundry D&D games, was talking about the number one issue for getting a group of adults together to play D&D is babies, and she just kept talking about that intermittently throughout the podcast. It was like, I mean, fair.
She's not wrong.
Yeah,
That's what. As soon as like, any time in my life, one of my gamer friends has said, "We're pregnant, woohoo!" Like, within a year, they weren't gaming anymore, and and then maybe eventually they got back to it, but it consumes your life for completely legitimate and understandable reasons, and it meant that they were really good dads because they didn't blow off their
child,
their newborns to go play D&D or Apocalypse World or whatever it was they were playing. But it's definitely a thing where like someone in the group says we're having a baby, and you throw them a very nice going away party. It's kind of how that goes. So.
My friend's daughter and I actually lived with this couple, and did improv with them for years, very close. But we're over at their house, like we're trying to play Pandemic Legacy, and she just walked up and very seriously just reached out, take a thing from the game board, hand it to me, and then take another thing from the game board and hand it to me. And I was just like taking all these little like cubes and things like one at a time. It's like, It's like, Penny, I love you, but I'm going to put all those things back here in a moment.
That's actually kind of adorable.
She's the cutest damn kid you've ever seen, too. Like, oh my god. And she likes when I chase her like a velociraptor. She does that, like, I'm terrified scream, but then just stops and smiles at you and waits for you to come after her. Then, like, yes, I'm chasing you.
Clever girl. Yeah.
Things like that makes me want a child, but everyone in my house is telling me that I can't have one yet, which is probably for the best.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to have a child right now. Who wants to get knocked up?
It's real good that I don't have the capability to just produce a child. That's exactly how I got a dog. My husband told me that like we couldn't afford a dog and that I shouldn't get one, and then the next day I just found a dog on my doorstep and took him in, and he's mine now.
You know, you can't do that with children. This child, she's selling cookies. It doesn't matter. She's ours now. She's here. Just like the dog.
Yep, found him on the doorstep, and now he's lived in more states in this country than a lot of adults have.
I'm assuming there was no way to figure out owners, or did you sort of grab it and run?
No, he was actually like abandoned. He was malnourished and like injured.
So did you think for a while you had like a creepy power to like make things happen by someone telling you can't?
Yeah, I also like for a while, whenever I had a coworker that I like really hated, within a week they would either quit or get fired. So I was convinced that I could hate people out of existence.
We've always been good, right? We used to have a lot of fun, right? We're cool. It's been a while. Okay. So, we can be back from commercial.
Awesome.
So, Bryn, as you're sort of looking for the stuff, kind of grabbing up the baggage that you have, and then like a bloody hand grabs you. It grabs your arm, and you look over and it's Polly. Bryn, we can't trust the Time Lord.
The Time Lord?
The woman who appeared. We can't trust her.
Why not?
And he sort of looks around. It's like she's gonna. There's things that she's going to do that will cause me problems.
I don't know what. How do you What's a Time Lord?
The woman who appeared. She just come with me. He's still covered in blood, by the way.
I thought you were gonna go wash off.
I was going to wash off, Bryn, but there's things happening. The Time Lord being here is not an accident.
You're an adult and I'm friends with your son, so okay.
Okay, if you'll come back with me, I want to check out the box she arrived in. Will you help me?
I'll do the best I can.
Okay, kind of takes you by the, like, fairly roughly, takes you by the hand and starts, like, going back towards where she appeared in the first place and where the attack happened. Sir Thaddeus Godfrey, you come rushing into the ship.
Yeah, I'm like booking it, and I said that thing about how please don't take offense, but I hope you are in fact a sorceress, and like clanging through the door in, and like I think I kind of sort of like skid to a stop in the hall before I get to whatever room that they're in, and I kind of turn and I say, the beast will be upon us soon, and there is nowhere else to retreat to. So I, turn and stand in the corridor, with my sword out in both hands.
What beast? The Havas?
Yes. If that is the thing that looks like a bear with the hands of a man.
Don't be afraid. They're friendly.
It did not sound friendly.
Well, if you could speak their language, you would understand. But you can't speak any other language than whatever this is.
This is the king's English.
Which one?
So I'm going to say time out just for a second and step out as a player. I don't know. It's Richard II. It's Richard II.
Oh, you do know.
That's right. Cause you know what? Because I remembered reading. It was in the text of the book when I read through it there. So I say by the grace of God, Richard II is the sovereign ruler of all England.
Richard the Second? Okay, just make a note of that.
I had thought the beast was following me. Does not seem to be in pursuit.
The beast is looking for someone to help them. They do not belong here. Go back. Bring the beast to me.
Very well. Squire?
Yes, my lord.
You will accompany me.
Of course. I know we were talking about looking for nuts earlier. Is there anything, could I even use my resourceful pockets ability and a story point to find something that could be helpful in corralling or luring said hay Vythe into this vessel?
Yeah, so with resourceful pockets, you can spend a story point. What is the thing that you want to find?
Well, we were talking, or at least I was talking about nuts earlier. So if there's something along those lines, if the doctor didn't want it to be hurt, I'm fine finding something that wouldn't necessarily, nothing necessarily electrocuted or anything like that, but something. Well, let's see. If we're trying to lure it in, then maybe a net isn't the best way to go about this, but yeah, perhaps what kind of food does it like? Maybe we can lure it in with some feed that the creature likes.
It enjoys highly condensed protein sources. They will do fine.
What was that?
The nuts. Highly condensed protein.
Okay. Right. So, is there? I can, I guess, look through the storage, the cabinets or stores here to see if there's anything, any kind of whatever treat whatever Phil's feeding on. If I can find any of that here.
Yeah, you got the nuts and stuff that you need. Like you've got some stuff. If she says that you've got.
Oh, in that case, yeah, that's right. I probably just have that from tomorrow's provisions. Sure. So I'll just go ahead and fashion a knapsack, and I'll go ahead and put it on at the end of my quarterstaff, and march forth, and try to lure the Havite back into here, and hope I don't get eaten in the process.
Into the ship?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Sir Havite. Sir Havite? Hail, Sir Havite. The doctor has sent us. She wishes to parley with you.
So the two of you are heading out, and then
yeah.
Doctor, are you staying within the ship, checking things out?
Oh god, that's so funny. No, the doctor will come out. She's playing with some odds and ends that she picked up in the ship. She's looking to craft maybe some minor psychic translator, so these mere humans can commune with the Havite.
Okay. So you using your boffin thing to create some stuff from here?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the boffin ability, create gadgets through so it would be like a story point. Essentially, I think would let you do that. I believe that's how the Jiggery Pokery rules work. Let me double check.
Yep.
And the cool thing is, the story points actually will remain in the thing, and you can actually they can be used in that one. And these are ones you kind of get back sort of later. So yeah, if you want to spend one, because it's a minor thing, you'd actually be able to give a thing where they would both be able to understand.
Yeah. Okay. So I from stuff in my pockets and bits and pieces that I found in the ship, I create. It almost looks like some form of mechanical hat. It's like disc with a wider disc and some space in between the top disc and the second disc.
Like something Devo would wear?
Oh yeah. So I hand that to Sir Thaddeus without explaining what it is. Let's go use this.
All right. It's just a disc.
Yeah. So a disc with a second disc and a cylinder looks a bit like a hat.
All right. I take it and I guess I tuck it under my arm as we go walking out, and the squire has the pole, and kind of we do what I said, where I'm kind of calling out into the darkness to the beast, hoping that we can get its attention.
Shorter human. That is
yes.
not how you use. Vertically shorter human. I'm gonna just ad lib here and say that the knight is shorter than the squire.
Okay.
Does that?
I am completely fine with that. Absolutely. Yeah, like with me being kind of a compact little fire plug of a dude, and the squire being like a whippet thin beanpole. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, kind of like a reverse Don Quixote,
Yeah.
Sancho. I was in
Yes,
Man
yeah.
of La Mancha, but I can't remember
Yes, yeah.
Sancho's
Yeah.
last name.
Sancho Panza.
Oh, it's Panza.
Yeah.
That is an improvisational telepathic speech interpreter. You do not put it under your arm. Put it in front of your speech hole while you talk.
Like this.
Yeah, you don't have to yell.
Yes. All right then. And clearly for a moment, I kind of stare down, trying to decide whether I should be holding it in my sword hand or not. But I elect to hang on to my sword in my sword hand, and so walk out the door with this thing over my face. Hail the beast. Doctor would parlay with you.
And Robert, have you kept going while the two of them are doing this, or are you hanging out with them?
I think it would probably be more fun if I had kept going.
Okay, yeah. So at this point, there's more you kind of realize that you're the only person sort of there, and as you're kind of going through, like into the woods, and you hear this thing sort of again pops its head up and looks at you, and
You're a gentle fellow, aren't you? That's all right. It's okay. I've got some food here. All right, big fella. Everything's okay. We've got a nice lady in here who could help you out, I think. Why don't you come on in? You hungry? I'll try to. At this point, I'm actually since I'm brave and I don't want my quarterstaff to be mistaken for a weapon. I'll take the nuts off the edge of the quarterstaff and actually open up whatever package I've fashioned out, and I'll actually just try to feed him.
Okay.
And I've also got animal. Well, this is a sentient creature, but for whatever it's worth, okay. I have animal friendship. So if nothing else, it explains why I'm willing to take this kind of a gamble.
It has this moment.
Yes.
And it sort of reaches out. Its hand is gigantic. It kind of takes some, and you notice that on its chest, as it's sort of coming over, there's this burnt area, and essentially a bit of almost a. It's weird because it would kill a regular thing, but there's almost like a crater in it that looks like it's natural.
What's that?
It looks like it belongs there. There's almost like a crater in sort of the chest area that. You can kind of see it's smooth underneath. There's some burnt marks and such around it on sort of the fur in the area there, but it's not. And anything else that would be like a big gaping wound, but it's not.
Okay, so it's not a. It looks like a wound, but it's not.
Should be.
That must be like something like a symbiote would normally fit in there.
Yes,
perhaps. For one who would know of such things. In the meantime, I'll Robert takes note of that and says, "Yeah, that's good. My lunch tomorrow is delicious, isn't it? Yeah." And then I realize, oh wait, there goes my lunch tomorrow. But anyway, I won't worry. But that's just a momentary thought. I'll say, why don't you come inside? And I'll try to gesture to have him follow me inside.
There's this moment where it sort of looks at you, and then you kind of hear a, and it immediately looks up, and you see something sort of streak by.
Ooh, okay.
Bryn.
Yep.
I'm Alan. Also, I'm guessing that the TARDIS is locked when you're not in it.
Yeah, the assembled hordes of Genghis Khan could not get through those doors.
Yep. So it kind of comes up and damn it, and then sort of turns and is like, Bryn, a lot has happened, but do you trust me?
Yes.
things have happened tonight that I couldn't have imagined before. But there are more things than you or I will ever understand. Come with me. And he starts like going towards like the pig barn.
I follow after him.
Okay. So as he knocks on the door and heads in, there's one of the, like the large sows is like on her side, and it's like as it's sitting there, and you can see that there's like a bit of glowing, like a thing in its chest. It's sort of glowing, and it just turns to you and goes, "It's just about to happen. Listen, there are so many things that you are about to understand. All you need to do is pull that out of its chest."
Out of its chest?
And that's when it kind of goes over and sort of places a hand on it. You can kind of see that like the skin itself almost seems to rise up a little bit as it's kind of got the hand, and it like reaches in, it kind of claws it and starts to pull this. It's just a kind of glowing thing, probably about yay big. I think, Brand, this will make you understand everything.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Just accept it. And he starts like walking towards you, and he's got it in his hand, and he's sort of reaching out towards you. What do? And it's glowing, and you can kind of feel a heat coming off of it.
Is the door behind me still open?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna, like, back up, like, scramble away from him.
Bryn, this will help us get rid of all of this. Stop the Time Lord. Stop anything else that's coming. Bryn?
How do you know this?
Bryn, 10 minutes ago, I was a very different person. I saw something. I got exposed to something that I've never before in my life seen. And I want you to know it too.
I would like to, I guess, ascertain the sincerity of Polly.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to roll for this. This one, like, his eyes are sort of burning with this, with just kind of a... He's usually like a very kind person. Like, you know his son. He's not quite like second father, but he's always been very warm. And like right now, you're seeing this just sort of intensity in his eyes you have never seen before.
So it's very out of character and very...
All of this is out of character. This is...
I'm gonna turn around and bolt.
Brand!
Going back to the forest, running back to the forest, back to the ship.
Okay. You can kind of hear him. He kind of like, you look over your shoulder for a moment. You see him kind of like come out of the barn a little bit, and he's watching you go. And then he sort of turns and starts rushing towards his house. Okay. The doctor and Sir Godfrey. You sort of turn, and I believe, Robert, you were bringing the thing back towards the ship.
That's right.
Okay. And it's like you see this like giant sort of like half limping, kind of like I said bear-like, but the face is kind of quite a bit different. Large paw hands. This is kind of, but it does seem very comfortable, kind of moving on all fours as it's moving its way behind him, and just. Sort of...
That is the beast that Squire. You seem to have tamed it.
Well, I just offered him my lunch. Yes, he seems quite gentle right now.
Doctor,
There's
what what do we do with it?
Oh, you're muted. Oh.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was trying to shush you guys, I was muted. I know you're kind. You are Hayvarth. I can see you're missing your second half. What happened to you?
You corrupted it. Took it from me. It's gone. I can still feel it somewhere here, but it's been changed.
What do you mean?
When they take it from us, they have to turn it. We are a part of each other. We have always been a part of each other, but this is no longer mine. And it has within it great power to do evil.
Can you help us find it? Something of that power should not be in this time or place.
I can... I'm still connected. I know where it's coming, but we have... The others have arrived.
What others?
The other zealots, they were not the only ones. When I broke out, tried to take it back, the ship crashed. The others have come back and found it.
We cannot have those zealots here. They will destroy this place in search for you.
Quick question for everybody for pacing purposes. We're at 8:30 my time now. Are we good for like an hour and a half, or what do people's schedules have?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for me too.
I'm solid.
Just so pacing wise, I know we ended up starting a bit late. All right. So at which point, Bryn, you kind of come crashing into the. You've been running back and forth between lots of things so far this evening. You're probably a bit tired, but you kind of burst out of the forest again.
I run up to the doctor.
Yeah, child. What's wrong?
Farmer Polly is acting real strange. He told me that you were a Time Lord and that I shouldn't trust you, and then pulled a glowing thing out of his pig and tried to put it inside me.
Dear. I think Polly has your friend, Hayvarth.
Then he is lost.
We may yet save him. Take us to him now, boy.
I think at this point, Bryn just sits down and starts crying.
Tired of taking people places. It's not worked out. I've been asked to do that like 4 times.
He's having a very stressful day and doesn't know what's going on.
Look, I know that this is well beyond anything you've ever experienced, but we need your help. Your friends, your family, everything that you know and love could be destroyed. I have other things I could be doing now, but I don't want to see this quaint village destroyed. Help me.
He was heading back to his house.
Oh no. Was there anyone else there?
his wife and son.
Well, it might not be too late for them, at least. Let's go.
Eyes just red and nose running, like full on, like ugly crying. Like Bryn like wipes his snot off on the back of his arm and like stands up and starts leading everyone back through the forest again.
Okay. Yeah. As you all sort of head, and the Haviath is just kind of coming after. It's like, we're moving towards it. You break through the forest itself, and you've got the TARDIS not far from there, and there is a you've got the farmhouse that right now seems relatively peaceful and quiet.
Last I saw, he was running in there from the barn.
You can rest here. We are going to look. Squire, come with me.
Yes, my lady doctor.
Okay. The two of you go to the house.
Yeah. She intentionally didn't ask Godfrey. She didn't think that he wanted to.
Yeah, I was wondering if Godfrey was going to have any reaction to me, just like, starting taking orders from the doctor.
Oh, she commands the squire, and I say, very well. I shall see to it that no harm befalls this lad, and point at the farm boy.
Yep, I'll be here, guarding. Back here, the flanks.
Well, we have to make sure nothing happens to this farm boy.
This poor distraught child.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah, the two of you head into the house. Just open up the door, and you see like there's a woman, probably his wife, like standing in the corner, like, and you see that like his son is on the ground and sort of twitching, and there's this glow sort of starting to like fade in his chest. And while that happens, you also see there's a similar glow that's in the chest of the farmer, that itself, and he's still covered in blood, that itself is starting to fade a bit while his son's like
is the Haviath with us?
It's probably trying to keep up. I mean, it's in agony right now, but it's been kind of making its way behind you. It's a little further back, but you're aware, like this is that symbiote fairly clearly. Yeah. But there's two of them.
She looks at the Haviath coming through the door. Friend, tell me your name.
Gives you a name. Something sufficiently alien.
Yeah.
Steve. I am Steve the Haviath.
Tim Shaw. Anyway, okay. Can you help relieve these humans of their symbiotes?
There's only one way once they've been taken. The symbiote will kill anything that is not Haviath if it's removed. And even us don't live that long without them.
There's got to be another way.
I'm telling you, it's impossible. No possible way to do it. Nope. No sirree, Bob. Can't possibly be done. Not by you or anybody.
All right. What if we kill the symbiote first?
If you kill the symbiote first, it will take him with it. Now, one of the things too, you know that in particular, this is a game that is replicating the sort of Doctor Who universe and series. So there's always that kind of thing where you can basically like spend some plot points or some story points to make a thing sort of work. Like when the Doctor can kind of always have that thing that will happen, or occasionally a one of the companions will. How many of you watched The Good Place?
Hi.
That thing last week. No. See, you're gonna say something innocuous. I'm gonna be like, hey, wait. Say that.
I haven't seen last week's episode yet.
That's not a spoiler. It's just a thing he says. Like,
okay.
He's like, and I'll say, you say that one more time, and then I'll get an idea.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just sort of standard Good Place stuff. But that like, if this is one of those things where you can spend some plot points and be like, this thing should work, and because the sort of techno babble is a part of Doctor Who and the ability to overcome stuff.
I mean, from the one season of Doctor Who that I watched, like Martha Jones did that a lot.
Yes.
She would just say something, and suddenly the Doctor would be like, "You know what to do."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's also your permission to like be able to essentially say, well, if we do blah blah blah,
yeah,
this thing can work.
Well, what if the symbiotes removed and attached to each other? Has that ever happened before?
Do you want to spend some story points for it?
No,
that's
sure.
just crazy enough to work.
I got story points to blow. Sure.
My God, man, it's a stupid idea. It just might work.
Now, well, let me see if if I, the player, am understanding this. If you can't remove the symbiote without killing the host, and right now, if we leave the symbiotes where they are, they'll turn the hosts into killing machines as well. Or?
You don't know.
Okay.
The thing is it sounds like that. You were just told that you basically can't remove it without killing them. At least that's what the Havite thinks.
Okay. Well, what if we attach the symbiotes to each other before we remove them from the hosts? And that way, maybe. I see. There's me trying to puzzle the way out of this, and also me puzzling out how a squire figures this out. But I'll worry about that next. But if we figure out something where if we can get the symbiote to kind of voluntarily withdraw itself by giving it something else to latch into, like meaning another symbiote, and then it kind of like that way it would enable us to remove the symbiotes from the host without killing the host because they're no longer fully attached.
I think I have an idea to assist that plan. I take the speech translator from nope, that doesn't work because he's not even here. All right, cancel that.
Who's not even here?
I love that you're saying this. That's a very Doctor thing.
yeah.
Wait, cancel that. Not gonna work.
She's saying that out loud. Oh, Thaddeus stayed behind with the other child. Okay, omitting that Thaddeus is a child. Okay, well, I was going to corrupt the translation ability of the translator, so each symbiote would think that the other one is a human, but we don't have it, so that's
I'll go
not
get
going to
it.
happen.
Shall I retrieve it, my lady?
We don't have time.
Ooh.
Okay, so in a moment, you're going to like. There's a point you realize you're going to have to, at the very least, try to restrain them. But outside, Bryn and Sir Thaddeus, as you are out there, you kind of hear, and these two that look quite like they may look different than the dead thing that's on the ground, and you don't want to be alien speciesist, but they all look alike to you. You're looking like, well, one 7-foot big creature like is just as terrifying as the other one, and plus the prosthetics they put on are identical. These two of them sort of come out, and in their hands they've got like the sword stuff, and they're like kind of looking around, and the two of them see the two of you.
And I smile. And they say, "Ah, you must be companions. You must be companions to the other creature. Your friend is inside. I fear that he has been injured."
The guy reaches up, tunk, 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 tunk. And it's weird because the moment you kind of hear your own voice, like coming sort of from within, like there's like a little bit of a thing that goes around in sort of its ears. A different companion, and he points to the dead body that's over there by the TARDIS. Did you kill him?
Oh dear, no. No. We came upon when we came upon him. We found him thus. Perhaps Doctor?
Okay, so at this point, while you're in there, the sun has sort of stopped, and the father sort of turns and sees the two of you, and then the Havite, who's now sort of come inside and is like massive behind you. And then you kind of see like his skin and such seems to alter a little bit and become more rigid. And you see like claws start to kind of like come its way out of his hands. And he said it seems like almost pump up a little bit from it. You're not taking us.
We don't want to take you. We just want to reclaim these humans.
There is only us now. You will not be taking it. Sort of looks down and like reaches a hand down for the son, who like very weakly is still kind of getting used to it, and kind of like reaches up and sort of grabs the arm, and he starts to sort of start pulling them up, and he's both kind of looking between all three of you, and particularly the Havite, who's sitting there, who's just, I don't think we have a choice. There's only one way.
I can take you home. You'll be able to get proper care and attention there. Both you and the human can survive this.
If this is sort of different circumstances, because I might have you make like a roll, because you can actually knock down someone's resolve in like an argument. But in this case, because it's been corrupted by the thing that's out of it, it's essentially trying to sort of remain free in a host it can control. But it is sort of starting to back up a little bit, getting his son to his feet. What are all three of you doing?
Is there? I'm trying to think if there's any way that if Robert could figure out some way of removing the symbiotes safely without killing the host, maybe something based on, if my character has animal friendship, then it stands to reason he probably has a fair amount of experience dealing with animals. Perhaps he was raised on a farm or has spent a lot of time on stable duty as a squire, and maybe he knows something about like the kinds of parasites that can latch onto a horse and how to remove the parasites without the horse getting harmed. Is there any way he could try to apply that knowledge somehow to at least come up with some kernel of an idea of what to do?
Well, I'm saying, do you want to spend if you want to spend like 2 points, your idea of sort of hooking them up together could work.
Okay, I'll certainly spend 2. Yes, I'm sorry.
I have something that could fictionally help you here. So you could, you know how like ticks, if you smother them, they'll back out of their host, out of the host body.
Mhm.
So like maybe there's a pan of grease or fat congealed somewhere that you can like act quickly to like smush on the center of, smush it all around.
Lard.
Yes.
If there's anything in plenty supply in the Middle Ages, it's lard. Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing I was trying to suss out. So I think if I could certainly enact that sort of thing and spend 2 story points. Was it?
Yeah, so it'll make those, it'll make that a thing that will work.
Yeah.
And they'll also put some lard like on the, you see like the fireplace stove kind of thing it has. There is some lard that's been sitting there that's actually, some of it's relatively, like not like really, really fresh, but probably soft enough that you can. So let's go back outside. So at this point, Sir Thaddeus, you kind of pointed inside and he's like, and turns to his friend and goes, "Kill them and then join me," and then just starts running towards the house, and the other one just kind of pulls the sword up and is sort of looking at both of you. What are you two doing?
I turn to the kid. So, is the door to the TARDIS open?
No.
No. But like the Doctor and the others are inside the TARDIS, right?
No, they're in the farmhouse.
Okay, they're in the farmhouse. All right. Okay. So I said, and I say to the kid, "Lad, you remember what I said about discretion?" And I say, "Now we exercise it," and kind of like point in the direction of the farmhouse, like indicating he should run. And like I run after him, and we're gonna try to get to the farmhouse so that we can, get in the door and slam the door shut and throw the bar down over the door.
Yeah. Even if the knight hadn't said that, Bren was about to just start throwing rocks and running.
Okay, so Sir Thaddeus said you're running to the farmhouse itself, or did you say the barn? Because the farmhouse, the other one is heading towards the farmhouse.
Oh, so yeah, no, I think we're working without a map, so I'm trying to. Oh. I'm having trouble picturing exactly where everything is in relation to everything else. But no, if there's a like if the closest structure that we can barricade is the barn, we are running for whatever the closest structure we can barricade is. Yes.
Okay. So you're running that way. Bren, are you running with him as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you kind of just like haul towards it and like, "Get back here!" And it's sort of running. And you go in and slam the door shut. At which point, why don't we have one of you make a... what would it be? A strength plus resolve roll.
I want to point out that I actually have run for your life as an advantage.
Yeah.
As one of my good traits, I have run for your life that I have booked. So
yeah. So like you guys book in there, but the strength plus resolve is to sort of like hold it shut as it starts to just against.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll say we both get there before it.
Hold tight, lad, I say. I mean, can I just blow a story point to just like see a pitchfork there and grab it and just kind of wedge it in between the the door handles or something like that?
Yeah, essentially, if you spend one, it'll let you. 1 point gives you 2 more dice, essentially, on the roll.
I'm going to go ahead and do that then.
So it's the total. It's going to be hard in this case because this thing is big and strong, and kind of putting that there. So by spending that, you got to put it in there. So you get to roll 4 dice.
Can I add athletics to that?
Or is
it? What did you say? It was strength.
Oh, I guess it could be like strength and athletics. I looked over and I didn't see the athletics part there on the skills. But yeah, I think strength and athletics.
Cool.
Or resolve and athletics if you're kind of holding yourself up against it.
Got it.
Is
So
there a
I've
mechanic
got
for getting a bonus from me helping.
Yes, on that case, if you want to help there, I believe it's +2. With a suitable skill, this is more just your body being kind of up against it, trying to hold it.
Let me see here.
Yeah, I would definitely help. I've gone through too much to die tonight.
Yeah. So sorry, hang on just a second here. I think I may be let's see what got happening here. So I just want to click on athletics, right? Because I'm making an athletics roll.
Yep.
Okay. Athletics. It doesn't seem to work, but let me try again here. I'm gonna reopen my window. There we go. Attribute is going to be strength. Submit. Other bonuses, 2 dice for the story point I spent. Boom. I got a 13.
And that is that with the +2 from?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That includes it. It's added in when I did +2 when I rolled.
Wait, you should roll 2 more dice with that.
Yeah,
with the
roll 2
plot
more
point.
dice.
It doesn't give you anything. Just roll 2 more d6.
Oh, it's not a +2 bonus. It's
Oh yeah,
2
no, it's 2 more dice.
dice.
So you basically have an 11 plus what you roll on 2 more.
Got it. Okay, so I want to do, what is this? Roll 2d6.
Yeah.
Do I need a backslash or something like that in front of it?
Backslash roll 2d6.
Like that. 11 plus 7 is 18.
Exactly. It's like right to it. There's a moment where it kind of comes. You're like, boom. You slam up sort of against it.
Okay.
And I point up. We're in the barn, and I kind of point up to the hayloft, and I mouth the word hide to him.
Quietly nods and scrambles up to the hayloft.
Okay. And you kind of scramble up there. And you like dive into like some of the hay that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if you have a loft, you should put hay in it. Okay, so you're up there, sort of hiding. You got a good view of like the basic kind of the barn. The animals are going nuts. Sir Godfrey, what do you do?
And I'm terrified, but I gotta protect this kid. So this is the thing where, like, you know, I've got the sword out, and I'm kind of like slowly sort of walking in a circle around the barn, you know, like kind of looking at every time like the moonlight that's coming through the cracks between the, you know, the slats is occluded for a moment. I kind of like point my sword there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna, you know, hope that the thing gets frustrated and leaves. But if not, I gotta protect the kid.
Okay. There's a point where you're like, and like as you're sort of going, and then there's a and a foot kicks in the other door.
Oh yeah,
on the opposite side.
Cool. So I charge over at it and just chop hard at that foot before he can yank it out and get another kick in.
No, but it kicks the door open.
On
the other
sorry.
side. But
so
however,
it's not like kicks through the door and there's a foot sticking through. The door. Okay. Smashes the door.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, so that's kind of like a good place to cut back to the house. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, kick the doors. So we cut back to the house. You're in there, and he's nervous, like his wife is in the corner, just not sure what to do because she's just seen something go into her son's chest, and then her husband and her son both glowed, which is not going in the Christmas card this year. And I think Mike, you said you were going to try to lard him.
Yeah, I'll assume that it's hopefully it's. Yeah, basically, I'll just try to apply the lard. Would I need to heat it up, or would it need to be heated, or?
No, I think you basically can kind of just grab it because you spent the thing for it. If you want to like grab it and fling it.
Yeah, basically, I'll just like pour it over the two, both. If I can swing it, both over both the symbiotes, over Holy and Holy Sun.
Okay, I'll say getting one of them would be a 9 and easy, but getting both of them would be tricky at 15.
Okay, and what kind of skill test would that be?
That probably sounds like it should be. Marksman doesn't quite fit. Athletics might, just to grab it and be able to just heave like a huge amount there, and then probably it's kind of a raw strength thing because the coordination is kind of hard to do with like thrown lard. I've never thrown lard. My guess is it's hard to be particularly accurate when you're throwing lard.
Okay, so athletics plus strength and some bits. And this is kind of a one-shot thing, right? Yep.
And the thing is, this is one you can do like Jim did, and I'll actually end up putting something up on the Roll20 to remind me about the story points. You can have that, like I've only got one shot at this. For 1 point, you can get 2 dice, and you can actually, each point after that adds 1 more. So you can kind of get extra dice on your roll.
Oh, okay. That's an ability we all have to...
Yeah, it's a basic story point, like by spending a story point.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the things you can do. If you want to check on that, there's that Dr. Huge GM cheat sheet that has got the thing on the right-hand side. I'll put something up on Roll20 for next time.
Okay, I can go ahead and spend a story point. I mean, that's what they're for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll... So athletics plus strength, and then should I add a bonus number? Like if I spend a story point, that's like 2 plus 2, or
it doesn't have a plus 2. It gives you 2 more dice.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So 1 story point gives you 2 dice. Like a second one would give you 3, a third 4, etc.
Oh, okay. Just out of curiosity, like how do we get story points back? Is this something that's rewarded like experience, or how does that work?
You kind of get them back through. I mean, you can do things like hugely heroic or stuff along those lines. Also, between sessions, they come back.
Okay. Well, I'll worry about that later because this is important. So let's see. So athletics plus strength. That's 7. I'm rolling 7. No, I'm rolling 2 dice plus 7 right now. And how much would I need to be able to get both of them?
You're gonna need. It's gonna be tricky, so a 15 to get both of them.
15. Okay. In that case, I'll go ahead and spend. Let me spend 2 story points and.
So I'll give you an extra 3 dice.
Actually, I only wanted. I was only going to spend 2 extra dice. So for 2 extra dice. So maybe that's. Am I really down to 7 already? Or did I already? Or was that after I dropped the 2? That might have been after I dropped the 2. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and do the strength plus athletics roll. That'll give me a. Did it go through? Maybe not. There. Okay. Well, that's a 15. That's a 15. Well, okay. Well, I said you have to commit to spending those dice before, or spending those.
Well, but yeah, and plus, remember, if you just get it, it's sort of a yes, but. So, like, ideally, you want to get like 4 above it. So, I mean, if you roll, you could possibly roll like 2.
Yeah. So, I'll just stick with the points I've already spent then, and let's see. Oops, I'm sorry. It's
slash roll 2d6.
Slash roll. Thank you. I knew that was. There it is. Oh,
not a problem. You just goes over both of them, and there's one thing. And kind of quickly, they're sort of like reaching for their throat, and they kind of falls, and you see like the chest start to bulge a little bit as the thing is like again like kind of like a like when someone's got like a thing in their head starting to make their way up. And about that time, the door behind you shatters, and you turn and you see another of the zealots are there, and that sounds like, oh, am I back? Am I still frozen?
Back.
Okay. Yeah. So about the time when you're sitting, like did you get like where they were starting to kind of come back out of the chest? So is that sort of happening? And they're on the thing. Both of the guys are almost kind of reaching up, like trying to breathe. Then there's a you turn the door behind you shatters. You look up and the other zealot has come in there. And you want to take a quick break, so we can take a couple minutes, final commercial break, and then hit the end of episode. All right, let's do that. Fill this.
I love this troop play because you can just kind of ham it up doing different stuff. It's fun. Like you can do a character that's basically a one-shot character.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, which is fun. And you see him again, maybe you don't. You get to try on different personalities and stuff like that. I really enjoy it.
My other experience with it had been Ars Magica, where the other troop is the Covenant.
The Grogs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Grogs are awesome. Yes, Rex, if you are back, let us know.
Yep, I'm back.
Cool. Okay, so in the barn, you got Rex up in the hayloft. On the opposite side, you have the Zealot has bashed in the other doors, the one that hadn't been sort of locked, and you have Sir Thaddeus in between on the ground, probably not terribly in front of it, but what do you do?
Well, I think we saw from the other one that it had the corpse had some kind of thing in its chest, in the middle of its chest or something like this. Like that had been carved out, like a divot that had been carved out of its chest or something.
That was actually specifically the Havith. The Zealot, the Zealot corpse had looked like something had been ripped out of it. Like,
okay. So this thing that's coming after me is a different big weird looking bear thing than the one we found the corpse of.
No, it's just, so the one you found the corpse of is a Zealot. It's a different. It's a humanoid, big and kind of bony in it, and the Havith is sort of bear-like.
Okay, so it's a different creature.
Yes.
All right. All right, and I say, I don't know what foul sorcery spawned you, what hell you were birthed from, fiend, but I am a knight of the realm, and you will not harm this lad in my charge.
Okay, so if you want to make a roll there to see how much you are able to essentially attack its presence or resolve.
Yeah, and I think and if I can gild the lily a little, I'll kind of cock my head and I'll say, surely your quarrel is not with this boy. Whatever it is that you seek won't be found here in this stable. Is it really worth 2 feet of English steel to you?
Go ahead and make your roll to see.
All right, I'm charming, so I'm trying to be a little charming here.
I don't know if charming works so well when something's coming to kill
all right,
you.
yeah. That's probably more just when I'm trying to be cute. So for my stats, I've got, what do I got here? I've got a pretty good presence. I've got presence of 4, and I've got convince of 2. So it seems like, does presence plus convince sound like what I'm trying to do here to get it back off?
Yep.
Okay. So that puts me at 6, and then I'm just making a roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a straight up roll. Other bonuses 0. Bloip. That's a 15.
So its resistance will then take anything else it does down by 2. So that will be shit. Did not roll particularly well on that one. And it has sort of a moment. So in that one, and let me just double check the social conflicts work a little bit different. I realize that you don't have a sort of a damage thing with the social. And we can probably do is I'll just make a rule for right now, and then I'll double check. What was your resolve again?
My resolve is sorry, hang on a sec. I got to flip back and forth between things here to see it. My resolve is 2. My presence is 4.
We'll use your presence on this one. So because you succeeded by 3, which puts it at the sort of yes spot, it means you actually do sort of half the damage there. So you'll do 2 points to his resolve. And he sort of like is looking at you, and since you've got kind of the sword out, and you seem to have a good deal of courage to it in this moment, and it's like,
well, and I got it, and I mean, I got I've got armor on. So, it's going to be work if he wants to get this job done. So, I'm not going to make it easy. I'm not just a farmer.
Like, looks back a moment, and then kind of has the sword. Are you doing anything up there, Rex?
Just hiding quietly.
Good lad.
Well, it's going to end up trying to attack. It'll have a -2 because it had a defense sort of once. I will let you know, this is also one where if you start pelting it, it will give it a total of a -4. Because it has to resist against you. And will actually have a minus against resisting against you if you just start, like, you said you picked up a bunch of stones.
Yeah, I was just carrying a whole bunch of rocks.
Yeah. So I said, if you wanted to do that would actually make it a little harder for him to hit Jim. So I don't know if you wanted to hide or to do something.
So is it just like one big stack of hay bales? Could I essentially like dart around the hay bales as like cover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can almost say that there's like it kind of goes around, and you can kind of and then like run from another place. And you're also at a point where you're up enough and it's tall enough that you don't really have to worry about hitting Sir Godfrey.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll just like pelt rocks and like duck and hide around the hay bales.
Okay, I would say go ahead and make your roll.
Coordination marksman, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm also going to spend a story point to add 2 extra dice.
$18. Damn, son. Yeah, you succeeded by 6. So with kind of pelting it with the stone, why don't we go with one of the things I hadn't quite. We have for thrown weapons. We'll probably say yeah, thrown rock would do damage equal to the character's strength. What's your strength?
My strength is 3.
3. Okay. In this case, it's armored. I mean, if you'd actually succeeded a little bit more, you could have done like a point to it. But because it's got an armor on it that will take care of 5 as it strikes, like it doesn't actually hit, but it does kind of have this moment.
The second it flinches, I'm shoving my sword right into it.
You've only got one action per thing.
Okay.
So this because like he's kind of coming after you, and as it hits, he rushes towards you. In that one, but he's gonna have his probably in this case. Well, it's coming at him. We'll say because coordination is a little less than strength, plus his fighting. But he's gonna have a -4 because he's resisted twice. As stuff is kind of coming at him. So, essentially, instead of 2d6 plus 8, he has 2d6 plus 4. So, and then just brings the huge sword up and like tries to essentially split you in twain. So if you wish to make a resistance roll, it would be a -2 since you've already done one action this turn. And probably in your case, like a coordination fighting.
Sure. That's so that's 5 plus my roll.
Or sort of depends. If you want to kind of try to take it as it comes and like try to meet it there, strength would make sense. I guess it depends on how you actually. Are you dodging or are you trying to stop it?
No, I'm not dodging.
Okay.
Like I'm a knight with like a big heavy chain shirt and like iron greaves and all this kind of stuff and like a helm and I'm not like I like if it comes at me with a big sword I'm just gonna
Okay.
try and block it. This is
in that case I'd use strength instead of coordination.
Okay, I will use strength. And then I'm at -2.
Yes.
All right. So
damn, son!
that's a 14.
Was it comes down and you're just.
Ha!
You gotta feel the shot go through your arm.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is strong. Mm-hmm. So inside the farmhouse. Let's see. At this point, the things are starting to kind of rise up out of the chests, and you see that another zealot has come in. What do the two of you do? Oh, Alan, you're muted.
Hi.
There you go.
The doctor raises a hand and says, "Can you just wait outside, please? We're almost finished."
Go ahead, make a roll. Oh, sorry. I would go ahead and make a roll on that one because it'd just be like.
All right. So roll on presence or resolve. Maybe presence.
Could be. I mean, I think part of it is: are you using? Have you got the full Time Lord garb?
Yeah.
So if you sort of turn, are you using that, or is it just more like force of will? Like kind of depending on how you.
Yeah. No, I think it's more about trying to diminish the zealots.
Okay.
The zealot as a creature. So presence and skill. Subterfuge or knowledge, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
Look at subterfuge. You're trying to trick it at that point. I mean, there's that moment of coming in. They just hold it.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen me? I'm big and scary. Why don't these people seem to care about that?
Yeah, exactly. So let me subterfuge with presence and no other bonuses is 13.
Okay. Yeah, so you succeed by 4. What is your you said you're using presence?
Yeah.
What's your presence?
My presence is 3.
3. Yeah, okay, so that takes his down quite a... There's that moment where it just it sort of holds up for a moment, and it's like looking you over with, like I said, the Time Lord garb and everything else, which worries it just a little bit. Robert, what are you doing?
His gut instinct would have been to draw a short sword and try to defend the doctor, but if the doctor successfully bamboozled him, he may stand there with sword drawn and not actually have anything to defend. But that's just what his gut program would tell him to do.
Okay. Got the sword, and Zealot just looks at you and is, one of my people has been killed. I'm going to expect you. Now, he's actually lost a little bit there. He's already had to defend once. One of my people has been killed. Those rightfully belong to me. And he is trying to frighten you. Doctor.
Oh, me.
Yes.
So, to battle that role, your people have taken these symbiotes without permission. They've brought this disaster to a level 5 sentient planet, and you can not come in here making demands. So, I'm going to maybe use convince. Oh, I've got no convince, but I suppose that's the kind of role that she's going for. And with resolve, makes sense.
And remember, if you want to use some story points to give extra dice on that.
Oh yeah. All right. I'll just throw in one more dice. Nope.
1d6. Or slash roll 1d6.
Oh. Nope. do. Success. No.
It puts slash and then roll. And then 1d6.
Oh, slash roll.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, 16. It actually failed by quite a bit. Yeah, so 16, I guess it's 10. You succeeded by 6. Result, bad. Nope. The character certainly failed at the task. Was a total disaster. And it has that moment when you say it, it's just kind of like... And back in the barn. What are the two of you doing?
Oh man, I don't think I can hurt this thing. Like as armored as it is and all this kind of stuff and everything. So, I'm just gonna let it kind of back me up to the other side of the barn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am holding all my reserve to defend myself a second time. Because this thing is just crashing this sword down.
Okay, so yeah, you're basically getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
Rex, or what are you doing?
As I'm kind of backing up.
Up here in the hayloft area, is there like a window?
Yes.
Can I crawl out of that?
Yeah.
I'm good. That's what I'm gonna do. Brendan's gonna climb out of that window.
Good lad. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving you time to get away.
Okay, yeah, so you basically go and kind of crawl out as you see him sort of coming closer, and have him, as he's, and he once again takes it, and I'm like, the swing itself like gets a lot of sort of shoulder into it.
Sure.
That thing looks like it is trying to just smash you down into nothing.
Yeah.
Now it's also spending a story point.
As long as kind of, if this were the show, out of the corner of my eye, I catch the kid slipping out the window, so that I know that he's safe, then I just kind of, steal my stance and grit my teeth and put my sword up to try and block the blow, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And I may as well spend one of my 2 remaining story points to even that up. That's a humongous roll. So this is fighting, strength, submit, And then the story point gives me 2 extra dice, is how that works?
Yeah, 1 story point gives you 2 extra dice.
Okay, so I submit that, which gives me that, and then I do roll 2d6. 11 plus 7, I've got 18.
Okay, so failed there by 5. The other thing, how many story points do you have left?
1.
You could actually take that from a what is the actual thing? From a bad failure to failure, which means he would actually only do half damage.
No, I'm gonna let him cleave me.
Okay. What kind of armor do you have? Chain or?
It's there's nothing on my sheet. I presumed I had whatever a knight of the realm would wear. Okay. Like there isn't anything listed on under my stuff, but I presume it makes sense that I have whatever is I got a chain shirt or something like that.
Yeah, probably not full metal plate because you're not just going to hand it around. Definitely the chain shirt. So about a 5. So as it comes down, what it would do is basically reduce your strength by 4 points.
Which puts me well below 0.
Okay.
It puts me at -1.
Okay. So as and it kind of crunches in and sort of fall to the ground. And you're not kind of dead yet, but you can kind of feel like you're going.
Got it. Okay.
And it takes a moment to kind of throws the blood off and just goes, "Very few can stand up to a blow from me."
And I say, "Oh," and I just smile and I say, "You are in so much trouble when the doctor sees what you did to me."
And he literally, he raises his sword kind of up for a moment.
Yeah.
And then kind of touches his thing to it with the blood on there, and then turns around and goes out of the barn. You're not dead yet, but it's kind of bad. So back inside. Rex, unless you do anything while it's leaving.
It's leaving the barn. Is it heading back towards the house?
Yes.
I'm going the opposite direction.
Run! Okay. All right. Okay. And in the house, you've got this. He's been sort of rocked a little bit on his not quite sure what to do as you came in, seeing this Time Lord there, and then Robert, you're in a place to see they've kind of come out of the chests, and the father and the son are both kind of convulsing a little bit, but not as bad as you were thinking.
I'll do what I can to comfort them. Are there any visible wounds where the symbiotes had left their bodies?
There's just it almost looks like a bunch of claw marks. Because the way it sort of come in, there's a shallow a rip along the sort of the sternum, and then the tentacles or something had kind of gone inside of it. And actually, the weird thing was, it's not quite as bad as you thought it might be, because it's not the way it sort of goes in is it kind of forms a tunnel and such, but there's a part of it that keeps it from being a mortal wound when it goes in. It's just not going to be good for them at all. They're not in the best way, but right now they don't appear like they're going to die right this second.
Okay. Well, I can at least. What about the symbiotes? What are they up to? What's their condition?
They're just sort of they kind of flop on the ground. The thing is, they're about probably yay big. They kind of flop on the ground, and you kind of hear this.
I'll ask the doctor what I should do with these creatures.
It's your plan.
Okay. Oh, right. We're supposed to connect them together, weren't we? Yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay, just and there's a moment where they kind of hit and just you see them kind of sink into each other, and as you're holding onto it, you're like, oh god.
And try not to get
going everywhere.
Yeah, really. I'll try not to get caught up in the middle of that mess.
Okay.
Myself.
And yeah, you do that. And then, Doctor, you're facing down the zealot.
I stomp up to them point a finger solidly into their chest and look up at their face and like, you do not belong here. You need to stop treating these other creatures as your playthings. Now get back in your ship and go home. You don't want to see me when I'm angry.
It does seem like that stereotypical, like the, hello, I'm the doctor. You might want to run.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard of me. So I'm, using my knowledge of where things are meant to be, and like kind of even that code of conduct, like the how, what is it, the bloody thing that, anyway, I'm being a bad fan here and forgetting the reference, but citing rules and
you can basically,
regulations.
the whole, like, this is a, as you meant, like, this is a level 5 planet, and you can basically like go off all the things and what they're doing that's illegal by the galactic codes.
Yep, that's exactly it. So I'm using knowledge, and gonna use my resolve again, and maybe even throw another story point in there, because I really want these guys to just piss off home.
When you spend one, it gives you 2 dice.
Oh, does it? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
1 gives you 2 dice. Every story point you spend after that gives you 1 more.
Ooh.
However,
all right, for those at home, I rolled
16, 17, 18, the 19
3
against
with
the
my
12.
story points.
So you succeeded by 7.
Okay, that's still all right.
Yeah, your presence is enough. There's a moment where it just sort of looks back and forth, and the other one kind of comes up and is like, what's one? He just puts a hand back and it's a Time Lord. And there's a moment where like they know that Time Lords are hard to kill, and if you don't kill a Time Lord outright, the regeneration can kind of screw up everybody in the area, and they seem to be aware of that. And there's a moment where they're just sort of looking. And like you got those 2 things and like, and they sort of start to kind of like head back. And goes,
oh yeah, I remembered the thing I was meant to be citing something about the Shadow Proclamation.
Yeah, and you kind of take a couple steps back, and they just, we'll leave. Don't cross our paths again, Time Lord.
You're crossing my path.
Okay. And they sort of head back. And at this point, you've got those things that they've kind of come together, and there's a powerful glow kind of coming about them. And you see the Havite start to kind of like come forward and like reaches out like a weak paw towards it. What do you do, Robert?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, what was reaching out the weak paw?
Like the Havite?
Oh, the Havite. Oh, okay. Does it... Do we need to put a symbiote back on him, basically? Yeah, I think we do, right? Or...
Well, you don't know. The doctor would know that it's required for them to survive.
Okay, well,
I don't know if you're around when I mentioned that.
I've seen where they go. I've seen how they detach, and I've seen the spot where it's missing on our friend. So
yeah, he's got.
I'm going to go ahead and I think there might be enough where I could do this for myself, being an enterprising, young companion material worthy person. That maybe I need to take. Oh boy, what happens if I take those 2 symbiotes on the ground and try to present it to the.
Maybe like because they're both corrupted, with them merged together, they're corrupting each other, and that reverses the polarity of the corruption.
That sounds Doctor Who as hell to me. So
Yeah.
so you give it to him?
Yeah, given since this is the only symbiote in the area, sure.
And he just, and he actually seems to grow just a little bit as you will remain who we were. And then, like, you just see tension just leach out of his form. Bryn, at this point, you see the two large aliens, like, leave the farmhouse, like, and kind of rush back into the forest. So what do you do?
They leave the farmhouse and rush back into the forest.
Yeah, and they seem to be, like, running like the devils after them.
I'm gonna head back into the barn and check on the knight.
All right. He's still holding on, but barely.
And I hold up a hand to him, and it's like that thing where I kind of like sort of kind of get you to come and lean closer, and I do that thing where I clutch you by the shoulder, and I say, with my passing, Bryn will become a knight. and he will need a squire. Sorry, you know what? That may be me. Is that me as a player screwing that up? What is my squire's name?
Robert.
Sorry.
Oh,
okay.
I see. So,
Bryn is the farmer's kid, right?
Not the farmer's kid, but just a kid that knows the farmer.
Just a kid that knows the farmer. Okay, sorry. Robert. So with my passing, Robert he will inherit, my sword and my title, and he will need a squire.
We can get you to the doctor. Maybe she can save you. That's what doctors do, right?
Oh, not this doctor. No. I've seen, and I kind of look down at myself and I say, I have seen far too many wounds like this to have any illusions about what is going to happen. You're all right. You're all right?
I owe you my life, Sir Knight. I'll do whatever it takes to.
No. No one owes me anything anymore. Just serve him well. That's all I ask.
Sounds like a good time for the two of you to be maybe coming into the barn to see his last moment.
Sure. Yeah, because as soon as the crisis is averted, I want to get back to the knight and see how, and let him know at least that the mission's accomplished and that the task is fulfilled. And of course, Robert, needless to say, is very shocked by. Now, is it Sir Godfrey or Sir Thaddeus? I think I've heard both names.
Sir Thaddeus.
It is
Sir Thaddeus Godfrey.
Oh, okay. Thaddeus Godfrey.
Thaddeus is my first name.
So
it's my Christian name. Godfrey is my family name.
Gotcha. So Robert is shocked when he sees that Sir Godfrey is mortally wounded. He gasps and runs to his side.
And so you kneel down next to me,
mm-hmm.
and I kind of with the last of my strength, I swing my broken sword that got snapped in half when the blade came down through it. And I say, and I tap one on your left shoulder and
Oh.
like gasp in pain as I bring it over your head to tap it onto your right shoulder, and I say, and I say, Sir Robert, you're far more gallant than ever I was. I have found you a suitable squire.
Hmm.
But I fear you will need a new blade. And like the sword kind of falls against my face and my eyes close.
Robert will engage in some unself-conscious weeping at this point. At this point, here's the thing. I feel I know I kind of established this character to be kind of like an ongoing companion, but I feel like the narrative flow has led towards him actually going on and continuing to be a knight with Bryn as his squire, as Sir Godfrey has.
You can totally be a knight as a companion,
right? But
and Bryn could also be like an NPC or occasionally picked up by somebody.
Dude, like that's I just set you up, man. Like you have no more like the whole point of that was you have no more obligation to me as a squire.
Sure, absolutely.
Travel freely now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You need to find a noble to be your patron. You need to find like a noble personage to serve, to swear your allegiance to.
That's a good
is
point.
What I'm saying.
Right, instead of serving the doctor as a squire, I'd be serving her as a knight. Okay, of course. Yeah. Well, I'll turn to the doctor and say, is there... He's passed, milady, Dr. Lady. He's passed, milady.
Just the doctor.
Hmm.
I see that. I will leave you to your funeral rites, and goes to back out of the barn and go away. Like
Okay.
she wants to hightail it.
Right. As you're withdrawing, though, I think Robert will take the sword in his hands and perhaps even cut himself in the process because he's grabbing it so hastily, and take the knee before you and say, "Doctor, please, you've shown to us all that you're a lady of great prowess and wisdom and kindness, and I would be honored to pledge my allegiance to you to help you further your quest for quest of charity. Would you please do me the honor of allowing me to do so? And my new squire.
The doctor just looks from Robert to Bryn to Robert to Bryn.
Yeah, Bryn, do you say anything? They've volunteered you as a squire.
That's right. Yeah, do you? You probably have some say in this.
Listen, a squire's life is much better than a poor peasant boy. Like, Bryn will take it.
I don't have any room in my vehicle for you humans. But you have shown some ingenuity and some compassion.
So let me ask a question. Sir Godfrey has one story point left.
Mm-hmm.
Can I spend it to have the horse come up to the doctor and be like,
Hell yeah! Tell me what the horse does.
the horse just kind of like stands like licks Sir Godfrey, kind of, with kind of like affectionate little like nuzzle on his cheek, and then as this thing is going on, walks over to the doctor and kind of leans in and chuffs a few words into the doctor's ear. That is like that basically says, you owe them this.
So she leans into these horsey words and shakes her head a little bit. And
the horse kind of cocks its head and looks at you.
You're right. It is traditional to honor the valiant, their last request. Okay. Do you want to come to Jezebel?
It's like Jezebel's the companion, and we're like the advantages, the traits on Jezebel's.
Jezebel's like, no way.
I understand that. Okay. All right. Let's go find my TARDIS, and we can.
Let's bury Sir Godfrey first. The funeral rites, as you mentioned. Oh,
humans. Yes. I will go find the Havith, and will allow you to tend to the lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like it might be a good pulling away as you're leaving sort of the barn, and then cut the credits.
Dun 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 dun.
Awesome.
Okay. Sorry, the Rex, we didn't have you quite as involved. I was, like I thought, the son might have some other stuff, but I do like that Bryn is now the squire.
I'll add Bryn to my character sheet.
I have Bryn. Gotta move him.
Yep. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh.
I love how this kid has literally ran his way into being like an auxiliary companion for the doctor. Literally all he did was run away.
It's a very valuable skill for a companion to have.
Yeah.
It's definitely essential.
Away is very important.
So
that also felt like a really Doctor Who incidental character death to me. Like just the way that played out just felt like, the way that they would script it in the show. So
yeah, but it still felt like, how they can really do great honor to those one-shot characters.
Oh yeah. He was. There was some consequence to his life and death, even though we only met him for a single session. So
he had an arc.
Yeah, and it's
totally arc.
The other thing that's very Whovian is those characters that are comic relief up until the chips are down, and then they're like, "Okay, guess it's time to sacrifice myself so that everybody else can live." And yeah, that was pretty cool. I love that the story ended.
It's very different for how I run a game to be like, I want to kill this character. like this character should die at the end of the not really a one shot, but for some of the characters it is.
Well, and and I had the option to run and stuff like that, but it seemed like the story was just pointing in that direction, and I really liked how it worked out. I thought it went really well.
So cool. We'll have to. I think we sent some stuff to as far as email, as far as what I think both what Rex was thinking as far as a doctor goes. And Rex, had we discussed what you were thinking for a companion?
We have not. Particularly because the character concept that I had in mind requires GM approval.
What is it?
So I was thinking of like a 21st century like Brooklyn street busker who does like tarot readings and stuff, but is actually a psychic.
That sounds fucking cool.
So cool.
I'm 100% on board for that. Is that something everyone thinks is cool?
Yeah.
And let me
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Let me pull
Yeah,
up
and
the-
it's fine because like everything balances out because the points are all the same for everybody. So that's
it takes away the some story points, and as I'm kind of getting to know the system, you kind of know where you can kind of push things for story points, and it lets people do some of those like awesome things because like the NPCs will usually have less, so that the major characters can kind of spend them in a bit bigger ways
and have like cool story moments.
Yeah. I mean, I also trust you to Michael to be to put the kibosh on anything that goes out of bounds. So that's
well. The cool thing is, I mean, essentially like a psychic, and I don't know if I haven't looked for a thing particularly in there for psychic. Kind of lets you use the story points in order to know things. Like the same way, I mean, it's essentially use it in the similar way that someone else would be like, I have this idea that'll work. You can almost point it to like either know things, and it could be sometimes I'll let you know, yeah, this is blah, blah, blah. Or, fucking hell, tell me what it's going to be. And then that could be the thing, because that's always a lot of fun.
Have you guys seen the Pompeii Tenant Donna Noble episode?
Yes,
I
think I have. That episode. That was the first episode of Doctor Who I ever saw.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so you can be this tarot reading Brooklyn kid, and then, maybe you decide to find some weird alien cause for your psychic abilities.
Yeah, there's just lots of applications.
Yeah, I was wondering, I don't know if you have any thought about what kind of doctor you want that companion to match up with. Do you know about what Jim and I have planned for doctors?
I was reading the session notes.
So, because I was wondering if maybe, you might want to think about like which of the doctor concepts, or even if some of the others, because I know there's at least one other player who may be joining us at some point.
I recall reading something about like one of the doctors being a private eye.
That was Jim's, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel
he wants to retire, but it just is not working out.
I feel like this little like psychic kid would be a great companion for him.
How great would it be also, like, you sometimes, like, fib a little bit on the psychic readings to help keep him involved in things. It's like, no, you're not allowed to completely, like, get away from this. No, oh, wait, yeah, if we go over here, it'll be great. It'll be a vacation.
Like,
if someone
is there any kind of... is there any kind of con artist aspect to your character concept as you envision it?
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Like a con artist manipulating a weary doctor.
Oh no, I don't think manipulating.
Okay.
Like so like if I'm if I'm the doctor as like Jim Rockford or Thomas Magnum or like one of these characters, like having a bunch of like grifters and reprobates and like kind of shady characters around is so in keeping with that genre.
You're the noir doctor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like this tarot reading, like fast talking grifter kid from 21st century Brooklyn is just, just amused the hell out of me. Like he would, because the doctor that I built is not a tech doctor or a driving doctor or a running away doctor. He's a he's a running cons on people type doctor.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, he's more, whatever, like I said, like Rockford or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone here has watched Psych.
A little bit.
I'm imagining that, but with like an actual psychic.
And even people that are really psychic, those, kind of the book makes very clear that those powers are not reliable.
Yeah.
Not consistently, like it's not like comic book superpower psychic. Like you're not Professor X. It's television psychic of plot convenience kind of thing. So yeah, I think that'll work great.
Sweet. Yeah, I know. So this is one of those things where, like, right now, next week, I don't know if I have a stand-up gig on the 8th or the 9th, on the Friday or the Saturday. 'Cause I'm supposed to do a club out in Mason City, which is like in the middle of nowhere, but gets like a weird amount of like pro comics. But I'll be opening for someone one of those nights. I don't know if it's the Friday or Saturday yet. I thought it was 2 weeks in a row, but my next one is I think on the 10th. We're doing a Valentine's Day show. I think it's on the 10th. I don't think it's on the 15th. I'll have to double check.
So it's Friday night for you now?
Right now, I'm not 100% sure what it is in Mason City.
No, but in your actual time.
Oh, yes.
Life, in reality.
I forgot. We're in different time zones. Or we're different times. We're in different days.
Yeah.
You're in the future.
She's in the future.
Have we stopped the broadcast at this point now that we're just talking about scheduling?
Yeah, here, let me go ahead and do that.